Hello and welcome. I'm Trebecca99 and this is XCOM Enemy Within. I'm going to be doing a full game walkthrough and playthrough of classic Ironman difficulty on this new downloadable content for Enemy Unknown. So here we go. As I said, we'll do classic difficulty to make it a little bit challenging. Impossible is extremely challenging. So I won't be attempting that for this video series because it will require a lot of restarts and I will not be able to get the content out as quickly. For the second wave, we're not going to enable any of this stuff, although you certainly could play around with it. It will change the game dynamics considerably. One that I particularly like playing with is Not Created Equally, which allows you to kind of hand-pick your rookies for the ones that have particularly better aim stats than the base starting stat of 65. But it means you have to recruit a lot more rookies. And I don't necessarily want to be doing that with the new DLC because it's going to cost money, of course, to get those recruits, and that's money we could be spending instead on upgrading, to mechs and getting the genetic enhancements that are now available in the new DLC. We're not going to enable the base game tutorial because that only allows, after the first mission, only one of your men will survive if you play the base tutorial, but we will enable the meld tutorial because it means it makes it a lot easier to get meld in the first mission. We will also enable Ironman. As I said, it makes the game a lot more interesting, so I'm not save loading all the time. We're forced to play through with the results we get, and I'll reduce the beginner voiceover just to avoid annoying talking that we don't need. And no, we will not enable the tutorial. So here we go. In terms of our starting base location, we're going to take Asia. Asia and Europe are the largest two starting continents. They have the most countries, which makes taking them sort of more valuable in the sense that we can afford to lose all of the Asian countries, except for the one we start in, without losing this bonus. So that's very very helpful. It gives us 3 countries we can lose instead of just 2 or 1 with some of the other countries. And this bonus of the 50% cost of Foundry and Officer Training School projects is going to do us better than 50% laboratories and workshops, because we're probably not going to be building very many of these during the main game. So here we go.
We're heading into China for the next operation.
So here's the first mission. It's going to give us the free meld
from the others.
for the first
appear
one.
to be the same type of pod we've seen used
And
by
then
the
we'll have to get
aliens
the other
during
one
their
and kill
abduction
all of the
operations.
sectoids
We may
without
gain
dying.
new insights if we recover
So
it.
in terms of general strategy here, what we want to do is really move. We don't want to dash on our first turn, because if we do encounter enemies, it leaves us unable to kind of respond tactically to the fact that enemies
I'm on it,
are
Commander.
going to fire at us on the next turn. And also, if the enemies don't see us, they will not fire on us on their next turn. If the enemies find us on their turn, they won't fire at us on the same turn. But if we find them on our turn, then they will fire at us potentially on the next turn.
Moving out.
So I'm basically just going to move everyone into the forwardmost covered
Moving to
positions
position.
I can get them into. And again, doing that without dashing. So here, I'm actually just going to move
Rolling.
up to here. And I can use one of these guys to go ahead and collect that meld. And then everyone else
There
can
may be
go ahead
additional
and
canisters like
overwatch.
this one in the area. The more we can recover, the more we'll learn about what's inside them.
Any others you find may still have operational self-destruct modules.
And so the other meld appears to be either in this part of the building or behind it. So we're going to actually move up. We're going to try to move up in that direction as quickly as we can.
Headed there now. Look sharp. Enemies
Oh,
rolling
and
up.
there's the enemy. So now we have to worry about our tactical positioning a lot. Being in light cover here is not great. We only have a 45% chance to hit that guy, which is okay, but not wonderful. So really what I'm going to do is just sort of move everyone up again. There's no heavy cover available, which is what I'm looking for there. But again, instead of taking these low percentage chance shots to hit, what I will likely do is hunker down to improve my defensive capabilities and try not to get hurt or killed by the enemy.
Headed there now.
So I'm just going to do that with everyone. We're going to move up, hunker down, and then try and take these guys out on our next turn.
Aye, aye.
And in theory, I could dash with this guy. He's really lagging behind. Yeah, I'm not too thrilled about doing that though. So instead, I'm actually just going to hunker down with everyone. Again, it's really important to just play very defensively when you're playing an Ironman, so that you don't lose soldiers if you can avoid it.
Taking fire over here.
So there we go. The hunkering down reduces their chance to hit us by 20%. So that's obviously very helpful. So now we can probably get a shot off with everyone. This is going to be a pretty good position in heavy cover.
Moving to position.
Oh, but there's an overwatch. I should have known since only one of them fired at us. But at least we survived it. So now we have a much better chance to hit right here. So we're going to take that. We got him. And similarly, we're going to take this heavy cover position here. Try and get this shot off. We only have 45 here, but at least we're in heavy cover if we miss. Plus we have squad mates that can get shots off.
No longer a threat.
But we did, we got him. Okay, so that kind of takes care of that situation, at least for now. And as I said, we know the other meld is back here somewhere, so we're going to try and move up in this direction as best we can. And now that those two guys are dead, which are the only ones we triggered, we know that these guys are not in danger of being shot at, even though they're in light cover. So I'm just actually going to go ahead and overwatch with them, because there's no point in hunkering down when the enemy can't shoot at you. It's really key to know when you're in danger of being shot at versus when you're not.
Heading there now.
The energy signature coming from that device.
Okay, so we have 6 turns to get to that one. That should give us plenty of time.
You need to move quickly to recover it before it's too late.
So now we'll continue moving up. It's actually probably worth considering that I have this guy here and her here, already sort of fairly far into this building. I'm going to go ahead and actually move around the back of the building. It's slightly risky to split up your squad like this because you can't bring as much concentrated fire if you do sort of run into trouble. But I'm gonna go ahead and risk it. Just because in this early game it's actually not that challenging, as long as you're careful. So we'll overwatch everyone here. Now I could move in and take this heavy cover here, but then, yeah, well, that's actually what I'm going to do. The only thing is we can't dash through this corner here, so we're going to have to come back around when we want to move again, but that's okay. It's more important to be in heavy cover when something like this happens. And at least we have partial cover from the other direction. So now having this squad member out here, I'm going to move into a better position to attack. Oh, and he's flanked. So I'm in light cover here. Ordinarily I would hunker down, but because he's flanked, I have a better chance to hit, great chance to crit. I'm going to try and just kill him.
Nice.
We got him.
Roger that. Clear to engage.
Oh, and there's another one. And now here, I will hunker down to protect myself. But here I'm in heavy cover, so I can chance the shot and miss. And I'm gonna move this one out to support this other guy out here on the next turn and just overwatch in the meantime. Okay, now I better get that meld. Position to be in is... How many squares can I move here? One, two... What is it? Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's kind of cutting it close. I'm actually just going to go ahead and dash so I know I can get to that on the next turn. Ooh, take an overwatch shot. Missed, thankfully. You get a bonus, or the enemy gets a penalty to aim on reaction shots if you're dashing, so there is some advantage to dashing if you think you're going to get shot at by someone in Overwatch. And now I'm slightly concerned that if I kill him before collecting this meld, that I will not actually be able to recover it if he's the last guy on the mission. So even though I have this great shot, you know, I took a shot at him last turn, but I think I should probably just hold off for a turn. Having him flanked should at least
I'm on it, Commander.
force him not to move. I'm actually going to overwatch him and just hope that he decides not to move or do anything crazy, so that I can kill him on my next turn after I've had a chance to collect that meld.
Good to go.
So he should probably die if he moves. Oh, he goes ahead and tries it. And he does die. And the mission's not over. That's great. Okay. So now I'll collect the meld.
Well done,
And that ends the mission. Okay, so that's good to know. This is, you know, new content, so I wasn't sure how it was going to behave. We will have a chance to collect all of the meld on the mission, even if we kill the last alien first. So, nobody even got shot at on our team. Very successful mission. We'll continue here with the introduction video with a little bit of the early base management, and then from that point I will split the videos separately into missions and base management
Commander
videos.
to the research labs. Commander to the research labs.
Welcome to.
So
Impressive
here we
work,
go.
Commander.
Everybody's
Our
leveled up.
soldiers have to be
That's
feeling good
excellent.
after a mission like that.
So we have our support, sniper, heavy, and assault, one of each type. Alright, so we are good to go.
The recovered artifacts are being unloaded, and the research team
get
is
a bunch
waiting your
of
orders. We'll get started as soon
Artifacts
as you
we
give
can
the order,
use,
Command.
so we'll go ahead and look at our research options. Now, with the new enemy within content, we have this new research option at the beginning, meld recombination. I have played through a couple of missions, not more than 2 or 3 missions through the first month.
Commander to engineering. Commander to
And
engineering.
if we research meld recombination now, we're actually not likely to do very much with it right away. It doesn't produce anything we can you know, build right away. What we can do with it instead is build, you know, the equivalent of workshops or research labs that allow us to make either mech soldiers or do genetic augmentations on our regular soldiers.
Commander to engineering.
So
Commander to
I'm actually not going
engineering.
to research it right away because I'm not sure we're going to be able to use it in the first month, whereas alien materials will give us a defensive upgrade, basically a hit point upgrade we can use on each of our missions. And I very much like that in the early game. Your soldiers have such low health, basically with 2 shots they're dead, and being able to equip the extra armor you get from the alien materials research means they can often survive 3 hits or survive a strong crit,
Commander
that kind of
to
thing. It just keeps your
Commander
soldiers
to engineering.
alive longer. Weapon fragments is another one people like. At least during for enemy unknown, you could beeline to laser weapons, which gives you a lot more killing power early in the game. But I actually really like the defensive upgrade first, especially in an Ironman game where we just need to be really careful about trying to keep our soldiers alive.
Commander to engineering.
So we're going to do this, and then when this is done, we'll decide between weapon fragments and meld recombination. We'll probably go with meld recombination so we can start to check out the new content that's in the game, but I'm not entirely
I
sure
agree.
yet. So
That
we'll go with
does
the
seem to be
alien
the most
materials for now. In engineering, we could go ahead and build a med kit and a satellite. Certainly the satellite we want to wait, because what we're going to do is on the next mission, which is an abduction mission, we're going to go ahead and take the reward that gives us engineers, which will reduce the cost of the satellite substantially. So we want to save as much money as we can there. The med kit similarly will reduce the cost. Now it's not as much savings, it's only a couple of dollars, but I also find that we generally just don't really need a med kit on the second mission of the game, and so I don't mind sort of waiting to save that money. Now in terms of facilities here, so we're going to kind of, because we have a satellite uplink here already, we're going to kind of reserve this area for more satellite uplinks, at least these 3. We have steam here, which we're definitely going to want to take advantage of relatively soon for putting a power generator in. A steam power generator just generates a lot more power than a regular power generator. It's a much more efficient use of both space and money to put a steam generator in. So I'm going to kind of leave that open. We have this excavated as well, so we actually have a lot of room for facilities, but generally on the first turn I like to start more excavations just to start creating this room. It only costs us 10 credits to do. Now I'm strongly tempted for only 50 and 2 power to put a access lift in. What that's going to do is, allow us to get to the steam so that our first power plant, which we will probably build in the second month, we can put in on this steam vent. So I am actually going to go ahead and start construction on this lift. If we didn't have steam on the second level, which happens in a lot of games, you'll only have it on 3rd or even 4th level, I probably wouldn't put the lift in right away.
Commander to mission control. Commander to mission
I would just do the excavation and save the money to spend on other things this month. But as it is, we're going to go with this for now. We're going to wait until after our next mission to build these items, and that's about it. So now we can go to mission control and scan, and it's going to take forever. Okay, so the access lift is built, and probably that means our excavation is done. Now we could excavate down here. This is a little more expensive. I think we probably can wait. Well, how long is it going to take? It's going to take us 10 days. We can't actually wait until the end of month 1 in order to excavate here. My thinking is that what we want to do is build another satellite uplink as soon as we can, but that's going to take 5 power. We may also have to build a workshop in order to get more engineers so that we are able to build the satellite uplink, and that's going to take more power too. What is a workshop? We can't build a workshop until we get our engineers. But basically you know, with only 24 power, it's going to be more than 1 power. So we're going to need more power soon. So we might as well excavate now, and then when this is done, we'll excavate this out. You know, this is kind of a different strategy than you might see a lot of people take, where I'm spending most of my money right now on base development rather than on, you know, equipment for my squad. But basically, you know, at this point in the game, I don't think, you know, as long as we play carefully in the missions, we don't really need equipment for our squad yet. And what this is setting up is the ability for us to launch a lot of satellites at the end of month 2. And you know, in an ideal world, we'll see if it's possible. It's not always possible, but what we'll try and do is in month 2 build 2 satellite uplinks, either in these 2 locations or in these 2 locations, which is going to give us a lot more satellites. We can already build 1 more, or soon we'll be able to build, you know, 1 more. It takes 20 days to build a satellite, so we're going to wait until day 10 before we build our first satellite. So that'll give us 2, and then the next one will give us 3 more, and the next one will give us 3 more. So ideally at the end of month 2, we'll be launching 6 satellites, which will take care of a huge portion of the XCOM countries, get us, you know, at least 1 more continent bonus, and prevent countries from leaving and give us a very good income. But we're gonna, what it means in order to do that is we're gonna have to invest most of our money for the time being into developing the base. So now we'll go ahead and scan. And there's our abductions. So as I said,
We've picked up multiple
we're going to
requests for
focus
assistance.
on,
Abductions in progress are
we're going
marked
to
on
go
the
to the United
hologlobe.
States here, to Chicago, to get the reward that gives us engineers. These other rewards, you know, $200 is great. We really don't need scientists much at any point in the game. At least certainly we didn't in Enemy Unknown. I don't know that Enemy Within changes that very much. But engineers are going to help us enormously because, as I said, we want to be able to get as many satellites out as we can, as quickly as we can. So we're going to go ahead and take that. So thanks for watching. This was the introduction to my full game walkthrough. The next video will be this mission I'm about to start, and then following that, you know, there'll be a few mission videos, and then once the first month is done, I will release a you know, a full month base management video as well, showing all of the things I did for base management during the month. So thanks for watching. I hope you watch some of the future videos. That's it for now.